So is this State of the Union showdown just another attempt at a power play by Nancy Pelosi? Here to weigh in is North Carolina Congressman Ted Budd. Thank you so much for joining us, Congressman. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you, Heather. It's great to be with you.
So as we begin, let's take a look at these dueling tweets between Nancy Pelosi and the president. And as we bring those up for our viewers at home, what are your thoughts on this? Beginning with Nancy Pelosi's move to basically disinvite the president to the House.
Look, that's very unfortunate. She was, like all speakers in recent history, she's invited the president and then she disinvited him. We think she should go ahead and continue to have him there on schedule. It would be a good unifying moment to hear the president's views, and of course they would have the opportunity to respond. So we wish they wouldn't bring politics into this. It was a new low water mark.
Yeah, I mean, it really was amazing. But then I was surprised when I woke up this morning because I went to sleep thinking that the president was thinking about an alternative venue, and then I wake up and discover that he's saying, you know, we're going to hold off and do it after the shutdown. What did you think about that decision?
I think it was actually a smart decision to remember what the State of the Union is. It's the executive branch coming to the legislative branch, and so he wants to remember what it's originally about. It's not a promotional speech. It's not a rally, but I think he's going to honor the House, and I think it puts pressure to get us back in, get the government back open.
Yeah, you know, I mean, but there's everyone in the country needs to hear from the president right now, of course, including the 800,000 or so federal employees who have been furloughed or aren't getting paid right now. Let's talk about what is supposed to happen today in terms of these dueling funding measures. What do you think?
Well, I try not to predict what happens over in the Senate, but it should be interesting. Leader McConnell has said that he's going to have two bills, one with wall funding, one without, and we'll see what it takes to get 60 votes for those.
Right.
I'm not sure if either one is going to get that amount of votes, but at least it shows where people stand.
So tell me, if either one does get the amount of votes that it needs to move on to the House, what will happen there in your chamber?
Well, of course, we would take that bill up, and especially if it didn't have funding, we know that Nancy Pelosi would take that bill up most likely.
Yeah.
But anything without funding will not get signed by the president.
And you speak from experience because you were part of this delegation of 9 congressmen who just toured our southern border. What do Americans need to know? What did you see?
So I'm somebody that has been supportive of the wall all along, but to go there and to hear the false arguments against the wall and to know, you know, there is 1,954 miles of wall and there's a lot of rugged terrain, but we could still build it on almost every bit of that terrain. We saw some of the toughest terrain in southern Arizona, but sometimes that wall goes from the road checkpoints that you would go and you would have the border crossing and you would meet and you would get checked out by Customs and Border Patrol. And then you would go 5 miles out from there to the east or to the west. And that wall ends and it becomes a single strand barbed wire fence. All you have to do if you wish to cross illegally was to go away from that checkpoint 5 miles. And simply step over a barbed wire fence. It's ridiculous. It's very sad. And we're seeing ranchers on both sides, Mexican ranchers, U.S. ranchers saying, please build the wall. They're tired of the cartels taking over their lands, sending 10, 20, 30,000 people across a year across private lands.
And we don't hear so much about that, like the drug cartels who really are controlling these areas right now. Hence the president's new phrase, build the wall and crime will fall. So thank you so much, Congressman Budd. We really appreciate you joining us. I'm from North Carolina, so hello to all my folks down there. You're doing a good job for them.
Thank you.
Thank you.